How easy we get there. And we're live. Intro.
What's up, everybody? My name's Chris. Welcome to Sound Up, Sound Off. Oh, and this is Sean. He is not here. He must be in vacay mode. Sean, where are you broadcasting from?
My house.
Ooh, he has houses all over, so we really don't know.
Kidding.
He could be in Milan. He could be in
my parents' basement.
That's creepy. And anyway, so this show where we talk about, and podcast, where we talk about topics, give our opinions, and then get to everybody's favorite segment eventually, Alexa Skill Stumper.
Yeah, I have a couple topics here.
Can you center yourself in the camera a little bit? You kind of leaning. That's better. I know. That's how you live.
First of all, how much do you like this mug here? It's pretty sweet. Yeah.
Can't really see it. It's out of the frame. There it is. Eagle, very nice. Eagle Realty mug. So we are sponsored by Eagle Realty Real Estate Group in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's red and black colors are there.
Oh, look, I muted him. There we go. We're back now.
Hey, it's like that show. It's like that show on ESPN where you can mute and does points and around the horn.
Oh yeah, we could actually. Let me lock the seats before any random people jump in. So this is not the normal platform we stream on. So sorry, I have a bug of sorts. Sean is in beta right now.
He's sick, and apparently
I have diarrhea of the nose. So anyway, the first topic I have.
Let me do the first topic.
All right, just go take it from me. Okay.
Yeah, because this will be a short one, but you're repping the cup from I think your win on Sunday Night Football. It is football season. We are back full swing. NFL and college, except for the Eagles not Eagles. Is that who you played? Did you beat the Eagles?
Yeah, it was the Battle of the Birds.
I really wasn't paying attention.
They beat us. Did you watch the game?
I didn't.
It was a great game, actually. We almost choked like 3 times.
But you won, right? On a Julio Jones 4th down catch, right?
We won because our defense actually played and we stopped Ertz from reaching for the first down.
I was still in euphoria from the Bears' dramatic win, but I think you won on a 4th down. Julio Jones caught a pass with 4th and 3 or something.
Right.
Anyway,
and then the Eagles went all the way down the field, and we actually stopped them with our defense. It was almost to the. I'd put the Bears game up here, but the Falcons-Eagles game had to be close second. The Bears game was crazy because last year your guys' kicker was the worst kicker in football.
Right. It was doinks all over. But that's not my question. Yeah. My question is, did you watch the game last night? Because this is what do you still get excited in other teams awesome plays? Meaning OBJ for Cleveland Browns made this catch in the first half last night that I jumped up out of my seat and was that was amazing. He had a one-handed grab on the sideline that Baker put in a place where he shouldn't have been able to catch this ball, but he one-handed grabbed it 2 feet in down it was the 10-yard line or something like that. It was an amazing catch. I don't know if you saw it, and I know OBJ is known for that, but do you still get excited for when you see a play, even if it's not your own team, you're just oh my gosh, that's amazing?
I was actually mad about it because in fantasy football I was playing against him.
Well, okay, that wasn't my question though.
But yeah, I watch. I didn't used to, but when I started doing fantasy football, I started watching some other teams more because you had players, and I started to kind of, when you get to know certain players of other teams, I got a little more interested in it, and so now I will had I not had against Odell and had Nick Chubb in fantasy football, there's no way in hell I would have watched the Browns-Jets game normally. I would have completely ignored that game. I basically did. But, I do like to watch, when it was Peyton Manning and Tom Brady playing, you want to watch that. So yeah, it depends.
So the question was, do you get excited for big plays still, even if it's not your team?
I think if you see a one-handed catch like that and you're meh, then you shouldn't be watching football.
All right. Yeah. So personally, I mean, I'm not just biased to cheering for big plays for my team. If I see an amazing athletic feat, I still get excited. Like I'm like fandom, like out of my seat. Like that's awesome. Still get amazed at some of the athlete maneuvers that athletes do, professional athletes do. Still amazing. Okay, well, I'm sorry. So you wanted a different topic, but I always like starting out with sports while we're in football season. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's okay. Hold on, I'm pulling up the comments really quick. I want to see if
I can't see comments on this.
Well, if you want to check out the comments, everyone, here's a link to the comments. We're kind of doing this in a different way. It's in the chat over here. The question I had was sort of about branding, and I guess it could kind of the transition here is kind of the same. Every brand has its logo, and then they have their color. But how many do you think is too many colors to represent a brand? Because think about Chicago Bears, I think of like a navy and like orangey color. Falcons, I think you generally think of red and black, but there's a lot of white mixed in with their logo. Our logo is, red, black, white, and green, but green is our main color, right? So how do you feel about branding and colors? NBC, the whole freaking rainbow. But I just wonder when you're like creating a brand, and maybe it's a good question for some of our members that are branding experts or whatever. I'm always curious about that because recently there's a company that was doing a website and they were worried about having too many different colors in their logo because they thought they wanted to have certain brand theme. And that was just something I thought about.
I think when it comes to branding and when it comes to coloration of branding, because there is psychology behind every single color when it comes to how corporations use colors. I like minimal, like usually 3 colors, and like you said, blacks and whites become kind of backgrounds almost. They're part of logos, they're part of branding in general for most logos, but they may not have been the focal colors that go. Like I said, Eagle Realty I know is like red, black, and white. SoundUp I think of as green, black. We have that red in there, but it's really like green, black, and white. Like green is our main color, and I think brands tend to trend to a main color and then some of the secondary colors. But if you are going to go multicolor, I think you got to go like broad multicolor, like you said, like NBC's like almost like primary and I can't think of like it's like a rainbow, or I've seen other brands with like a lot of colors. But I think if you start trying to brand like 5 colors, that's hard to do. Like if you brand 5 or 6 colors, that's hard to do. Or you either got to go like all in on like your like rainbow centric. And I think you also got to think very carefully about what colors kind of go together because of the psychology behind coloration. Like you could be at odds, like where you have like a very powerful color, like signifying power and that kind of stuff, with a very calming color, and it's going to clash. Like you're looking at those colors, you're like, wait, that doesn't make sense because the psychology clashes.
Yeah, and certain parts of the world, like I know purple is considered for royal only in certain parts of the world. I learned this recently. But like our logo, when we get our hats made, I was mad because in our logo, I considered the black border part of the logo. They didn't put it on the hat. But then again, when they didn't, it's like, oh, well, I guess it didn't necessarily need it. But there was something that the black, I think you're right about the background. I think it definitely needed the white part of it. But I think there's certain brands like Apple is just one. Well, Apple used to have the multiple colors in that. Anyway, it's interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say they had the rainbow colors too.
A lot of newer logos are definitely more flat, one color type logos.
Yeah, I would in 80%. I would generally recommend no more than 3 colors. That's just me.
So we have 4, but it's okay.
But blacks and whites. I know green's still our main.
Yeah, but I wouldn't consider red a major color of our brand. But anyway, so that was a question I had about that. Let me pull up the other question. Oh, so the new iPhone's announced and released. Are you getting one?
I probably will. I'm not gonna go pre-order craze, but I will probably get the iPhone 11. I will probably stick with the base model instead of the 3 on the back, just the 2 pan burners, stove burners on the back. I just want the wide angle camera for certain photo things, and I don't like plus sizes 1, 2. Right.
I think it's easier to walk closer to something than it is to walk back from something and get a wide angle. Never have I ever been like, like, oh
Never
wait,
have
let
I
me see
ever.
how
Did you
close I
just?
can. Yeah, never have I ever. I did. Yeah, I didn't know if you picked up on that or not. But I've never have I ever gone up and not been able to get close enough with my phone. But there's been many times where you just can't step back any further and you want to take a picture, or like real estate, like you're in. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Let me ask this. It has a low light or no light night mode or something like that. Is that on all 3 models?
Yes,
Okay, yeah. So I'd get the base.
literally the only thing you're not getting with the bigger one is the better screen and the telephoto zoom in camera, which I never use.
Yeah, yeah. Then I'm good.
The screen is way better,
I'm getting the base.
but coming from the phone you're coming from, you're not even going to notice the difference.
Yeah.
Honestly, you wouldn't. It's a 720 screen. The screen you have now is 720. You won't notice. Honestly, it's not. I don't think the screen's worth the extra, like $300 something.
$300. Yeah.
It has the same
Not for me.
processor. It has the same speaker setup. It's literally those two things.
Yeah.
You can get if you spend a little more, you can get the smaller model, but it's not that much smaller.
Yeah, I'll have to see about that because I do prefer smaller phones. I don't prefer the tablet in my pocket. So I'll have to look and see exactly on the size because that'll just be I don't know. I'm sure you get
the
used to
11's
stuff,
in the middle. Yeah. So anyway.
Awesome. Are we moving on?
Yeah. So for the skill stumper segment.
Lex skill stumper.
Yeah. So this past weekend, I went to a. That was different this week. It was a remix.
It was. I try to make it a little bit different every week.
Does Instagram have a new gesture? That was weird.
Don't be gesturing me.
This past weekend, I went to a place called the Great Wolf Lodge,
Okay.
and there's motion at my front door, and no one's supposed to be here. That's weird. And as you saw, we had the lovely bear let me put that on its head.
I can't with it. Middle of your face. There you go. Got it.
That's weird because my screen goes all the way out to here, all the way out to the edge.
Sorry.
And then even their mascot Wolf wore our hat this weekend. They were very nice.
That's nice of them.
So before I get kicked out, I really had some ideas about the place, and we were in our room, and we were talking about what time we were going to go to the water park, and I said, well, what time's it close? And you have your suitcase and stuff. We couldn't find a paper. There was nothing on the wall. Nothing there at all to tell you what time. They have a water park inside. Nothing to tell you what time the water park was, what time the restaurant opens, what kind of food. Nothing. There was nothing like that. Yes, pick up the phone, go to the website, and they probably had a TV channel if you turn on the TV. But man, it would have been nice. And maybe it's because I'm using voice so much, just to have been like, Alexa, what time's the water park open tomorrow? That would have been cool.
So are we going to say this industry is resorts or hotels?
Yeah, I guess I just kind of jumped into it, didn't I? Sorry.
Yep.
My question though is a rental property. What are your thoughts on doing that? Let's not talk about executing how to do it, because put something in the room, bolt it to the wall, whatever, have to figure that part out. But do you think that you have more ways than just that? Or could you come up with some other scenarios on how to use it? Sorry, excuse me.
So I think if we're thinking through, I think it's a little bit different. So I'm involved in a rental management company. So we actually, manage rentals for individual owners, not owning the building, owning the resort. So resorts and hotels, I group a little bit different than individually own things, like if you're Airbnb-ing it, or if you have a rental management company like we do, where we do vacation rentals and that kind of thing. So let's steer more, since you just had the experience over the weekend. Let's steer a little bit more to the resort hotel industry, and maybe we'll do individual property management of properties or Airbnb type properties in the next episode. So resorts, hotels. So yeah, I mean, besides just general resort information, which I agree with you, I think would be very nice to just have a voice activated within the rooms and systems there. I think you could definitely build into the skill in that kind of environment in resorts and hotels, room service, concierge packages, as far as being able to get things to your room. Hey, Alexa, can you have whatever what Great Wolf Lodge send up toothpaste, or extra amount of towels. So I think you should definitely have some contact in our contact skillet, the ability to request things for your room as a guest through concierge and supplies. Of course, hotel information. I think booking. Could you make appointments? Do we have like calendar skillet? As far as like booking, like I know like when we stayed at Disney and the restaurant downstairs, like could you book reservations at places at the resort or hotel, restaurants, or that kind of thing, or even maybe build in different deals that Alexa, what kind of deals does the hotel have on this weekend? Because maybe they're connected with, I don't know, like I said, water park was in the hotel, but like local attraction type stuff, local things around there. And then I think from a content standpoint, like if I was a hotel resort, I would probably have the on property skill, but then I'd have, then you have your own brand skill and that kind of stuff where you could talk about booking a package for the weekend, making actual reservations to that hotel or resort through their skill on Alexa, them running maybe not a podcast, but I think flash briefings work well with this, depending on how big you are. Like, are you mom and pop, or are you like actually corporation? Great Wolf's probably large. Like, could you create
that is a really good
with
idea with the flash briefing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, even just being there, they could say, Alexa, what's going on today? And they have just that one flash briefing. They could leave the weather in there, and you can say, what's going on today? Or what's, one of those phrases. And it could tell you about the day. Actually, that would be really good. And what would be interesting is if this is something we don't have, and they might want to change it every day, but there might be even a way for us to have certain things repeated with the feed. Maybe a future feature we could talk about one day, but I'm not thinking about features right now. With that, I think that would
don't get Adam's wheel spinning before we get other stuff completed.
No. I was gonna say, I think it may be different every week, so I don't think that would necessarily work. But I don't know.
Yeah,
so I'm not thinking that.
I think smaller resorts, you could have a cool podcast show. I mean, like you said, like that one had characters. What if you had characters on your like the resort, like Mickey Mouse hosted the podcast, and it was like Donald Duck take over, and like different things where you could actually have some entertainment value to the podcast for the resort. I'm thinking like I said, I'm thinking public store where people are your brand and your skill, your brand in the flash briefing, brand building, awareness, specials, that kind of stuff. And then you have your on property, yes, Elmo. Then you have your on property skill and flash briefings that are for your guest relations of people that are actually at the resort or hotel. It's a no brainer. And let's be honest, this is where that industry is going to have there. What'd you just say?
I was gonna do an impression. I'm sick, so I don't know if I can. I was like, Elmo says the pool opens at 3:00 today. You can go swimming.
Okay, I don't know. Oh my gosh.
I wanted that on the YouTube.
That's something. That should be our. That might be our intro to the Alexa Skill Stopper segment for this one. When I edit down the video.
I'll send you a recording of me Elmo saying that. Did you see the video when we went to Taco Bell?
We went to Taco Bell.
My brother and I went to Taco Bell and did the Elmo voice in the drive-thru.
No.
Oh man, you never saw that?
No.
Oh, that's pretty good. It's kind of the highlight of my life.
All right, I'm gonna assume that was our outro for Alexa Skill Stumper. We hope you enjoyed that. And if you're a hotel or industry or hotel or resort and you want to work with SoundUp Now to maybe create a what would we call that? A promos or a what do we call that thing where they like get it for free? Like they test trial skillet for your resort. Let us know. Did you talk to anybody up at the resort about that?
No.
Yeah, probably should have.
I keep tagging them, but all right. Well, we'll be back next week then.
All right. This is Sound Up, Sound Off. Let's do a little bit more formal outro. Sound Up, Sound Off. Glad for joining with us and on our new platform here that we were just trying out, and we always like to try new things. Have a great week.
Bye,
Sean.